is the Writer's Almanac for Monday, April the 18th, 2022. It's the birthday of Clarence Darrow, born in Kinsman, Ohio, 1857, became a lawyer who fought for unions and the poor and became famous for defending some unpopular people in his day. The Scopes trial in 1925, he defended the schoolteacher John Scopes for teaching evolution in a school in Tennessee, and he successfully defended two confessed teenage murderers, Richard Loeb and Nathan Leopold. He defended them from receiving the death penalty. Clarence Darrow, who said, "I never killed a man, but I have read many obituaries with a lot of pleasure." It's the anniversary of the San Francisco earthquake in 1906, 5:12 in the morning, and then 4 minutes later was the big quake itself, which broke the gas lines, which caused the fires, and the water mains ruptured, so there was no water to fight them. 3,000 people died. More than half of the residents of the city, 400,000 people lived in San Francisco in 1906, were homeless. Jack London was there in San Francisco when the quake struck. He wrote, "All the cunning adjustments of a 20th century city had been smashed by the earthquake. The streets were piled with the debris of fallen walls. The steel rails were twisted. All the shrewd contrivances and safeguards of man had been thrown out of gear by 30 seconds twitching of the earth." 1924, on this day, the first crossword puzzle book came out. Simon & Schuster published it, and it sold out immediately. By the end of that year, 1924, the 3 books Simon & Schuster put out were ranked number 1, 2, and 3 on the national bestseller list. It's the birthday of the journalist Susan Faludi, 1959, in Queens, in New York City. Author of Backlash, The War Against Women, came out in 1992. And then Stiffed, The Betrayal of the American Man, came out in 1999, about the culture of masculinity in America. Susan Faludi, who said, "I don't see how you can be a feminist and not think about men. In order for women to live freely, men have to live freely too." And it's the birthday of Clifton Keith Hillegas, Rising City, Nebraska, 1918, who gave us Cliff's Notes, the little black and yellow striped pamphlets that for some college students took the place of reading the classics themselves. Here's a poem for today by Leo Dangle, entitled His Elderly Father as a Young Man. This happened before I met your mother. I took Jenny Johansson to a summer dance, and she sent me a letter, a love letter, I guess, even if the word love wasn't in it. She wrote that she had a good time and didn't want the night to end. At home she lay down on her bed, but stayed awake, listening to the songs of morning birds outside her window. I read that letter 100 times and kept it in a cigar box with useless things I had saved, a pocket knife with an imitation pearl handle and a broken blade, a harmonica I never learned to play, one cufflink, an empty rifle shell. When your mother and I got married, I threw the letter away. If I had kept it, she might wonder. But I wanted to keep it, and even thought about hiding places, maybe in the barn or the tool shed. But what if it were ever found? I knew of no way to explain why I would keep such a letter, much less why I would take the trouble to hide it. A poem by Leo Dangle, His Elderly Father as a Young Man, from Home from the Field, published by Spoon River Poetry Press, and used by permission here on the Writer's Almanac. Be well, do good work, and keep in touch.